Hi, Internet people. So season 2 of Preacher started this week, and they are doing a special 2-episode premiere. So, okay. Thankfully, Chris Hardwick magically appeared on my television set before the end of tonight's episode of Preacher tonight for me. This is going up on a Monday, so it's daytime, whatever. But he pointed out that the show is actually going to be airing on Monday nights and not Sunday nights. So that kind of sucks for me because I already have a Monday night show that airs at the exact same time. So I'm going to try and do some live tweeting of Preacher throughout the season. We'll see how that goes. But I'll definitely still be doing recaps. So this week you're actually getting 2 because I'm going to recap / react, more react, because I find it really hard to actually recap Preacher. I did written recaps and even those are difficult to do just with how the show is set up for me personally. So okay, first episode. The road trip begins. Cassidy, Tulip, and Jesse are on the road in Tulip's car, and suddenly they get pulled over by cops. There's a really cool chase scene that's in sepia tone, and they're all singing together. It's amazing, and I loved it. The cops are like trying to pull them over. Cassidy almost gets set on fire because they won't believe him about the umbrella. Well, the sheriff, like the head guy, doesn't. One of the other ones is like trying to hold this umbrella over Cassidy because Cassidy's like trying to put sunscreen on. They almost shoot him. It's crazy. But Tulip's car's out of gas after their high-speed chase. Then all of a sudden everyone starts getting shot. Because the Saint of Killers is on their tail, which we knew from the last season. He's tailing them and shooting up everybody. So, cops are going down. Oh, one of them is still singing Yellow Rose of Texas, and I felt really bad because Jesse uses Genesis on them, and I love the fact that Genesis is like really low and like super American sounding, like, move, do this. Like, I don't know, it just makes me laugh every time. So the guys were doing stuff. One of them maced his own balls. Okay, so like all this stuff is happening. They're trying to get out. Tulip points out that they need gas to get away. They can't figure out what's going on exactly. Jesse was going to use Genesis on whoever was shooting at them, who we know is the Saint of Killers. They don't know that yet. Tulip then points out they have no gas. They can't get away, and just is like, siphon gas. And then she's like, with what? And then he looks at some intestines, and I'm like, oh my lord. Ooh, oh no. So Cassidy is trying to avoid being set on fire. He's under a car. He literally shoves a dead body under the wheel to protect him slightly longer. Then Jesse saves him with his umbrella, and Tulip has totally siphoned gas using an intestine. We don't see that process, but there's totally just an intestine hanging out the back of the car. They get to a gas station. Jesse God voices, I know it's Genesis, but I like saying God voiced. God voices the cashier guy who like doesn't realize they're there. Cassidy teaches Tulip an amazing way to get the taste of human intestine out of her mouth. She like has to put hot sauce in, and then she drinks half the container of Yoo-hoo. Cassidy winds up eating a cat because he's injured. We don't see that, but there's totally fur on him, according to Jesse. They're going to meet up with Mike, someone who's like a family friend of Jesse's. They get to Mike because he's like, he'll help us find God. We get there, they pull in, literally there's a girl in a cage and they have no idea why she's in a cage, and then Jesse's like, it's fine, it's none of our business. They go about their like business with Mike, and like Tulip's like, what is going on? Like, they want to know because Tulip and Cassidy don't know what's going on. Mike explains that he locks parishioners up in a cage to get them over their afflictions, like pills, booze, Twitter. Apparently the girl in there right now is addicted to social media, and this is to cure her. And it's really funny because she's like screaming and yelling and asking for a phone, and then he's like, I will call your parents. She's like, sorry. But like that happens, and oh my gosh, Cassidy is like critiquing his use of the cage, which is really funny. All 3 of them wind up sleeping in a bed together because there's only one bed, and then Cassidy talks about how in Ireland, if you're poor, your parents just have sex like on top of you. It's fine, I can sleep through it if you want to have sex. And I was like, oh my god, they don't have sex, mind you. Jesse winds up showing Mike that he has magic powers by having him break something, but then he tells him that there was a parishioner who said she saw God at a strip club called Shishi's. So he gives Jesse the card. They're gonna go find Tammy. So that happens. They leave in the morning. I also totally left out the part where Cassidy was talking about foreskin at the opening of this episode for forever, and now I can't stop thinking about how foreskin is probably not in face cream, but not just in my brain. So they go to the strip club, which is playing jazz. Like, literally they walked in, and Cassidy thought it was a front. Like, he was like, there'll be a bunch of dudes in jackets smoking pipes, and they walk in, he was like, or it'll be a strip club, and he's like really excited. But literally it's playing like smooth jazz, and I was like, I've never been to a strip club. I have not. I haven't. But I was like, I feel like strip clubs normally play more upbeat music and not jazz. But who knows? I don't know. So they find Tammy while Cassidy is off investigating. While Tulip and Jesse are talking to Tammy, who apparently like owns the strip club, they get her to say that yes, God was there. He listened to jazz. He picked a specific song. Cassidy is in like a rumble with a stripper and security because he put her hands on the stripper and Tammy saw before the thing, and that turns into a huge thing. Oh, while they're at the strip club, Mike is confronted by the Saint of Killers. But instead of letting the Saint of Killers get any information out of him, he drinks a ton of whiskey and stabs himself in the heart. This is after we watch the Saint of Killers rip the poor convenience store gas station guy's tongue out, and I was like, no. I know the Saint of Killers is a terrible man. I know he's a bad man. I have started reading I read the first volume of the Preacher comics because I found it on sale. I need to read the rest of them because it's helpful. So yeah, that happened. So Mike is dead. Poor Mike. But then they're trying to interrogate Tammy, and then Tulip and Jesse have this really interesting conversation about him using Genesis, because she's like, you're lazy, you could just beat her up, and he's like, I don't want to beat her up. They go back and forth. All the while, we can see Cassidy on a back camera. Finally, Cassidy gets Doug, security, to accidentally, like, shoot his gun, which accidentally hits Tammy, kills Tammy, but Jesse learns that God was there to listen to jazz. So God loves jazz. Yeah. They leave, get a hotel. Jesse randomly uses Genesis on some dudes to make them move because he's tired. So Tulip is right, he's getting a little lazy. Then Cassidy gets his own room. Tulip and Jesse get their own room. Tulip locks herself in a bathroom as foreplay. Jesse breaks the door down so they can start having sex. It's a thing. I called it door play in a terrible tweet. They have really intense sex that Cassidy can definitely hear in his room. We also see that there's an angel. I feel dumb because I can't remember his name right now. The angel that survived meeting the Saint of Killers is totally playing a magician somewhere. The mighty Ganesh. Yeah, it's one of them. The tall one. The tall, skinny one. You know who I'm talking about, I hope. Then Jesse goes out for a smoke after sex, and the Saint of Killers is just casually walking through dangerous lighting, and Jesse is like, stop. No. Please note, anytime that happens, it's Genesis' voice, because it's gonna happen. And it doesn't work, because the Genesis voice does not work on the Saint of Killers. So the last thing we see, is the Saint of Killers shooting at Jesse, and the screen goes black. So we don't know what happened. There will be a new episode on tonight that you should definitely watch. It will be at 9, which is going to be the regular time for Preacher, apparently. Mondays at 9 on AMC. I'm hoping that I can maybe do like my one show at 9, and then I'll do Preacher with West Coast at midnight maybe, or I'll swap back and forth between which ones I live tweet. I'll figure something out, because I definitely still want to do these, because Preacher is just this crazy show that like I kind of have to talk through to remember what happened, because it follows a path, but because Jesse, Tulip, and Cassie are now more they're doing stuff as more of like a trio. I think it'll be a little different. Last season, stuff moved around a lot, so I was sometimes like, oh, this happened, and this happened, and the thing, and there was that other thing. I think this one might have a more like focused progression, but I can still see there being like offshoot stuff that happens. But I'm excited to see what happens this season. I know this will be more like the comics, because the comics is actually set after Anvil. So the comics are actually set after Anvil. That was the actual way to say that sentence. So I'm looking forward to seeing some comic stuff come up. There's also some very interesting stuff that happens in the comics that I'm pretty sure is gonna happen because of some of the teasers I have seen. So, but pretty sure there's gonna be an episode of BDSM. I'm just saying, it's in the comics, it happens. There's also a bunch of stuff, so I don't know. I'm curious to see what from the comics goes in that I know of, and then like what happens that I don't know about. I'm excited to see what happens. I'm also really worried Cassidy is going to wind up telling Jesse about him and Tulip, and like I know he feels bad and he wants to tell him, but I think Tulip's right, and if he tells him, things are gonna get real bad. But I'm interested to see what happens. So let me know what you thought of the episode below in the comments or on Twitter. I am at Kleffnotes. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more of me, please subscribe. Besides Twitter, you can find me on my blog, kleffnotes.wordpress.com. I write for the Nerdy Girl Express, thenerdygirlexpress.com, and I run their Snapchat, the Nerdy Girl EXP. Bye, Internet people.